What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about Morgan Le Fay and how she is an absolute force in Dark Dimension at just 3 yellow. No red stars needed for her to just absolutely dominate in Dark Dimension. We're going to talk about what makes her so good in there, why she's one of the best legendaries, if not the best legendary character to be taking into Dark Dimension. Show some footage, kind of break it all down, and just show what's really making her so good inside that game mode. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. So it's all going to start with what goes on with both her basic and with her ultimate. Her ultimate, it's kind of crazy because it is a 4-turn cooldown, and due to her passive, she's going to move quite quickly. But this applies trauma and ability block to all controller enemies, flips 2 positives into negative effects on all non-controller enemies, and reduces the speed bar of any enemies that do not have negative effects by 30%, which is fine, but also applies disrupted and slow to the primary target, spreads all negative effects from the primary target to all adjacent targets, will not spread stun or ability block. That's pretty cool. And then clear immunity, but you don't have to worry about the immunity too much. It's this. All controller enemies. There are a lot of controller enemies inside of Dark Dimension. We'll show that here in a minute. But yeah, this basically lets you shut down a lot of controller enemies. You also bring in Omega Red, and now you have 2 different characters who are applying trauma and ability block. You also have Omega Red, who is prolonging and flipping negative effects. I've also used Doc, and Doc was able to extend with his ultimate as well. So, you know, that ultimate does some great stuff, but this basic is just absolutely gross. And this right here is what allows her to keep going at 3 yellow inside of Dark Dimension. And, you know, copying, clearing 2 positive effects, that's fine. It's the stealing 10% max health from the target and redistributing to herself. She does this both on her basic and on her bonus ISO attack, and I was running Striker with her and Legendary, and she just never got close to dying, unless it was like a wipe in a Legendary node. All of your enemies inside of Dark Dimension 5 have like 2-3 million health. So you can imagine with Morgan, who is sitting at like, what, 500,000 health right now? Not that, yeah, like 669,000 health, which goes to show when we get red stars how crazy she's going to be. She's basically healing up half her health every time she uses her bonus ISO attack. It's a little ridiculous. And yeah, I mean, you have the Time Warp as well. I found the Time Warp, actually, let's go back to Morgan here. And I'll talk about this passive. But yeah, the Time Warp ability I found on its own was not quite something I liked using. Because while it did rewind speed bar and everybody, most of my legendary characters are a little slow. So, you know, it was allowing the enemy team to move before my legendary characters. So, yeah, like, it was okay. But it also kind of made things a little more complicated. But that did allow her passive to at least go quite a bit more, in that she's filling her speed bar by 10% for self and all Darkhold allies on enemy turns. So every time an enemy moves, she's gained 10% speed bar, and there's a lot of enemies out there in Dark Dimension 5. So, you know, she's moving quite often. She's using that ultimate quite a bit. And then if we go and look at just what to expect inside the legendary nodes, I'm working on my timed run right now. We will come back to that. Global's kicking my butt a little bit. I mean, let's just see how many controller enemies there are. Like, here's some Quakes, Black Widow, Iceman. I believe, I can't remember now if Domino is controller or not. But yeah, there's several controllers here on this first node alone that you're able to defeat, are able to keep shut down. Jubilee being a big controller character, and now you have trauma and ability block on her, so she's not able to stun, she's not able to do her mass assist. Cloak is another big controller you're shutting down. Yeah, Sharon Carter, I believe, oh gosh, I can't remember right now. But yeah, like, you've got more support, you've got more controllers there. And then here in the final node, this is where things get crazy. You're fighting quite a few Dr. Dooms. And right now, it seems to be like if you don't have Black Bolt, you struggle quite a bit inside this final node, because you need to counter these Dooms. Black Bolt helps you counter that, which is good. I found that Morgan kind of helps cover that a little bit with Black Bolt, because now she's able to constantly ability block and trauma poor old Doom. Then you can follow up with a stun from Jubilee if you really want to. But also there's some Phoenixes, Like Phoenix is now ability blocked, so now they can't. Now those Phoenixes can't do anything. And the Dark Phoenix is also a controller character. So Morgan's gonna shut down any Dark Phoenixes you run into. And then you get to this final meme wave. Mr. Fantastic's the controller. This last wave is so weird. I had no idea what I was running into when I got this final node. It took me a couple attempts to get through it because I was not expecting a Doom bot that was just spreading buffs to everybody and healing everybody up to full. It was a weird last wave. Was not expecting it at all. But there are quite a few controllers within these legendary nodes. So you're always going to be keeping them locked down because of Morgan with her ability block, with that trauma, shutting them down. Any other characters that get a bunch of buffs, you can also, use that, use Omega Red to ability block Ultron, and kind of work your way through things. Now, it's funny, these Captain Marvels in here are like the old Captain Marvels we used to fear. Same one that we had in like City DD4. I think City DD4 had a Captain Marvel that would just automatically delete someone off the map. And the Captain Marvels inside the legendary nodes are doing the exact same thing. So, it's kind of crazy seeing what these characters can do. And, this is just some footage of it. What I was doing here, I wasn't trying to work my way through the node too quickly. I was just trying to give you guys an idea of what to expect with Morgan here. And you can see right there with that Striker ISO attack on her. Watch this. All right, so she hits once, and she steals 300k health from him on her basic there. And then she's going to hit again with her ISO attack and steals another 300,000 health. So this is why I'm using Striker on Morgan, because she's doing so much damage, and she's topping herself off at the same time. And, I have Omega Red as well with his basic T4, which is stealing 10% max health off of characters. So, yeah, it's a team that's doing some really crazy stuff. And we're just trying to kind of show, just give you an idea of what things are doing. We're not trying to clear these nodes too quickly. I want to pull the fight out so you guys can get an idea of what to expect with her here. And just see, how, even against a full wave of enemies, she's keeping so many characters on lockdown on her own without having to rely on other characters. It's kind of ridiculous. So we're going to fast forward here a little bit. But yeah, here we go. Now we got the next wave in. And, usually we're stuck behind this taunt with Blob over here. And this is going to be a problem because, well, actually, no, we have a taunt on Jean as well. But if we didn't have that taunt on Jean, this could be a problem. And, yeah, I don't know why I killed Black Bolt there. That was dumb. But, yeah, now at this point, Morgan's going to move. And she's just going to ability block a ton of characters here. We're going to get that Disrupt, or at least try to get that Disrupt. At this point, this is the problem. We don't have a lot of focus on Morgan, so she's not going to apply a lot of negative effects. This is where Skirmisher could probably be a little more helpful, but there you go. We got ability block on both Phoenix and Mr. Fantastic. And now we can prolong. There you go. We've got prolonged negative effects on everybody. And if we want to do so, we can prolong again with Omega Red, but we're just going to put ability block on Falcon right now. We don't want him using his special to drive up speed bar. And now we're going to slowly work our way through some of these other characters. And yeah, I mean, we're going to do work on it. And even with that block, it doesn't block max health steal. So, if you have a character that blocks a lot like this, or if you have characters next to Blob that are getting a lot of deflects, she's still going to steal the 10% max health. There's nothing you can do to change that. And now we are just we're gonna have some good times. There you go. And just slowly work through it. I mean, there's nothing else to really say, just beyond you guys can see here what's going on with this, and how that, it's fun watching. It's fun watching Morgan just suck all that health off these people, and just slowly work through them. But yeah, this was I one-shot the first legendary node, and I two-shot. I think I two-shot the second legendary node, and then I had to use 3 or 4 attempts on that final node. That last wave with the Doom and the Fantastic Four bots really kind of throws you for a loop because you have no idea the mechanics of those characters. You think they're just regular Doom and Fantastic Four until they start using abilities you've never seen, and you're just kind of like, what the heck is this? And yeah, it kind of throws you for a loop, but eventually you work your way through it. But yeah, this is we are now. Let's see, yeah, because we prolonged the ability block and the trauma, and now we've got we've got the ultimate ready to go for Morgan again, and now she can just, you know, ability block and trauma more people. And yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. And if you have anything where enemies have no positive or negative effects on them, she's also reducing speed bar on those characters. We do run a little bit of a problem here with Morgan where she's running a little low on health, but we're just going to pull that right back off of her here in a second. We're going to get some heals in with Doc, and we are just going to let we're going to let her do her thing here and heal a bunch of health. She takes some damage here, but yeah, time rewind. And then and now, yep, there you go. Stealing some health. So even if she doesn't like, if you even don't have the bonus ISO attack, you also use Time Warp for this, where rewind, whatever it's called. I keep calling it Time Warp. Time Platform is Doom's ultimate, but yeah, you can see that even with her special here, she's able to heal herself back up to full with it, and yeah, just slowly work through things. So, you know, let me know what you guys think down below. Are you guys planning on using Morgan? Has this made you decide to use Morgan for your legendary nodes in DD5? Let me know down below, but as always, if you guys have enjoyed this video, found it helpful, informative, make sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. I will see you guys next time.